Atlanta, Georgia, and I was there, you know, and I'd taken Amtrak, and I was there at the train station, and there was the big, wonderful waiting room, and then there was a small room where the vending machines were. That used to be where the black people had to sit in the train station. You can still see that in different places. Well, Bernice says that they were working to end segregation in the bus stations of Albany. And she and some of her friends, they were going to march, but they were scared to do it, and they were feeling like they didn't have a lot of support from many of the African Americans in town, some of whom were just plain scared, some of whom didn't want to be fired from their jobs, and didn't want their houses burned down. But she and some of her friends, they went to church, they had a rally, and then they went out and started a rally. And they started off to march and to protest, and one of her friends said to her, "Bernice, turn around." But Bernice was scared to turn around because she figured that the state police and the local police were following them. And they kept on walking, and they saw that some of the black people were kind of looking out of their houses a little bit. And her friend said, "Bernice, turn around." And Bernice would not turn around. She said she just figured she would keep her head straight and just keep going right down to that bus station. And they got there, and then they came on back around. They were going to go back to church, and her friend said, "Bernice, turn around." And finally, she turned around. And there were many, many of the African Americans in town who had decided that they were going to join, that they were going to follow their young people working for freedom. But indeed, there were also the state police behind them. They marched back to the church, and she said she got them back into the church, and she went right up to the front where she was used to leading songs, and they looked, and the police were in the back of the church. Now, when you hear stories about the civil rights movement, don't think that the police didn't come into church. And don't think that sometimes the police didn't beat people in the church. We'll tell you about that in another one of our sessions. But there they were in the back of the church, and Bernice said she was scared. But she knew that it was good to raise up a song. So she started to sing a song she had grown up singing, and normally the song went like this. Over my head, I see Jesus in the air. Sometimes they would say, "I see trouble in the air." They'd say, "I see Jesus in the air." That's how they usually sang it. But she says on that day, she was about to sing, "I see trouble in the air." And she had one of those split-second moments. She said, "I'm not going to sing trouble. I don't have to tell the people they're in trouble. We know we're in trouble. But we've got to sing about what we're thinking and feeling and wanting." And she says in that second, she changed the words of the song. Over my head, I see freedom in the air. Help us sing that now. Over my head, I see freedom in the of the history, and not only the history, They also help us remember what we ought to be doing now, because, hey, we're still working for freedom. Amen? All right, so help us out. Thanks for coming in today. Thank you for a wonderful sound. Thanks for singing. Up over my head.
Up over my head.
I see freedom in the air.
I see freedom in the air.
Up over my head.
Up over my head. I see freedom in the air.
Up over my head.
Up over my head. I see freedom in the air. Yes, I really do believe.
There's a God somewhere.
There's a God somewhere.
Up over my head.
Up over my head.
I see justice in the air.
I see justice in the air.
Up over my head.
Up over my head.
I see justice in the air.
I see justice in the air.
Up over my head.
Up over my head. I see justice in the air. Yes, I really do believe.
There's a God somewhere.
There's a God somewhere.
So that is our time. Thank you so much for being here today.